it's just like, if you don't know what it is, and it's a big, long word, that long, it's probably not good for you.
Right.
And, right? Although some of those are just like plant names that, but most of them aren't, especially if it's got some crazy ending, right? When you're in science, you learn what those endings are, right? And you say, ooh, if it's got that ending, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want it in my body. So these medicines, we chose these because these are readily available for us. Organ grape is like one of the most powerful, wonderful medicines, and it grows everywhere. And that's why we gave you these handouts with the properties and a little picture. And you can do a little research about it, but they grow everywhere. And I'm urging everybody, if you can't find them, let's get them and let's plant them everywhere, because this is the best plant. It's so powerful and so good. You don't buy that echinacea. It's not native to this land. And some of us are even allergic to it. Organ grape is our medicine. It's a very powerful medicine too.
Where is echinacea native to?
Echinacea is from Asia. It's a good plant. No, it's a good plant. Very powerful and good, and knocks out infection. But so does organ grape. It doesn't taste very good, I'll tell you. You got to put other things in it. That's why we use the licorice root. That is to die for. So yummy, very delicious. Nettles. This is another really, really important plant, and it grows everywhere. Like out here in Discovery Park, it's our gathering place for nettles. There's a lot of it, and you pick it in the spring, the very tops. You can pick it later too, but that's when it's most powerful and strongest. And I actually had to buy it at the herb store because we were out and we harvested a lot last summer. But we made pesto and put it in soups, and it lasts all year. I have a big pot of nettle tea almost every day. I was told by an elder that this is almost a complete food. That if you just drank nothing but nettles tea, you might be just fine. Very healthy.
And it's good for dandruff.
Good for dandruff too, yes. You put it on your hair and it makes your hair super shiny and nice. And that's the one thing about a lot of our native plants. They really are superfoods. Super dense, full of nutrition, and our bodies just love them. And I've also been told that you need to eat the foods from your native foods because your body knows them. Your body just absorbs them well, loves them, and that when you go back to Mother Earth, then you can feed Mother Earth with those same ingredients, right, from that land. And that ties us there. It's so important. Okay. Now mullein, this is not a native plant. This was brought by the Europeans, and you will know this one. It grows everywhere, and it feeds a lot of birds. It's got those fuzzy little leaves, and it starts out on the ground with those fuzzy leaves, long, and then it grows up, 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 up. And by the end of the summer, it has this big, tall sprout with seeds all over it, and the birds just love it. But this is really good. My grandma used to put mullein oil in my ears when I was little because I had a lot of ear infections. I think because they always gave me milk. And my body said, what is that stuff? Cow milk. Didn't like cow milk, so I don't do any of that anymore. But I was raised on mullins in my ears, so I might be really deaf if it wasn't for mullein. I'm only about halfway deaf now. Okay, organ grape. And ginger root, oh, this is another one. So, so, so good. It just helps inflammation. It's very good digestion, really good inflammation. And that's what a lot of us have is inflammation. That's what causes a lot of our problems because of the foods we eat. Mostly the white flour and white sugar. They create inflammation in our body and makes us sick, allows cancer to flourish, gives us arthritis, all those terrible problems, chronic fatigue and stuff, because it clogs up your body. Ginger root cleans you right up. It's really, really good.
Is ginger root indigenous to this
It's not, no, but we love it. We have wild ginger, but it has different properties, but we're gonna do stuff with wild ginger, I think, in the spring, in salads and stuff, right? Shoots. What else do we have? Oh, mint. Mint grows everywhere. Mint is really great too for the digestion, and because of these roots are so strong, we use the licorice root, which has a lot of awesome properties as well, but the mint to kind of make it so it's a yummy tea, because this really is a good tasting tea. Okay, so when I have it at home, when I make it at home, I keep the roots separate because the root material is so dense. It's good to really boil it. Like during the winter, I keep fresh ginger root in a pot on my stove, a glass pot, and I just keep adding to it, and I drink it every day. And with the elderberry syrup, it's like I am not a person that gets sick very much. Very rare. But anyway, but what I do, if you want to make a tea blend, which is really easy because it's really a pain every time you make a pot of tea to go, I'm going to have a little bit of this one, I'm going to boil these, and then I'm going to add my leaves at the end because they don't want to be boiled. If you're home and you have time, you want to do that, that's the best way. But it's also really easy if you have a nice blend in it. I think maybe you're more prone to drink it more often if it's just there and ready. And so what we do is when you harvest the roots, you dry them and cut them in little pieces, but I like to put them in here to get it just as fine as we can so that we're not wasting the medicine. Because if you just put it in hot water, you could do that several times with this root, right? But because we have the leaf material, you're just going to throw it away or compost it, right? Or put it outside in your yard. So if I can get a volunteer to ground this up, maybe over here some. Yeah, you want to do that? Sure. Okay.
All of it? And,
Yeah.
and then where should I?
And then there's bowls. Bridget, can you bring a bowl over, please? Okay, so all there is to this one is, let me get some volunteers. We've got to ground up this ginger root is ground pretty good, but we're going to grind up this Oregon grapefruit a little bit better, and I think maybe. Did I give you the licorice? Yeah. Okay, so I need one. Okay. So all there is with this one is just mixing it together, and then I've got some little bags for everybody. And who likes to write and make pretty labels? Do you like to make labels?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. And that's another thing. It's good to label your medicine for safety reasons. Just in case someone's going to come and make tea and they don't know how strong it is. So it's really, really good to label everything. And put a date on it if you don't think you're going to use it right away. Because the plants lose their potency up over time, too.
So I noticed that Oregon grape isn't recommended for pregnant and nursing moms.
Right.
So having daughters who are nursing moms right now, I'm always trying to think of things that they take when they're sick.
Yeah.
And so how well will it work without the Oregon grape?
Oh, it still works, but the Oregon grape is the antibacterial that will get, if they have infection in their lungs.
And is that common for safety, or is that known for sure to not be good for pregnant nursing moms? What is the
It's
problem?
not good because of what it does to your blood.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these herbs are and that's the thing, herbs herbs are very, very strong and powerful. You shouldn't, don't get that mentality that because it's a plant, more is better or something. More is not better. No, small amount is better actually to see how your body takes it. Because sometimes we have allergies too. So it's good to do small amounts. So like this tea, I would recommend a cup and see how it does. And if you start sneezing, maybe you're allergic to something in there, right? Or you get a rash. I get rashes. Everything gives me rashes. I'm very sensitive to some things, but yeah, plants are very powerful. They're very good medicine. And a lot of the Western medicine drugs that they produce in the lab, they are designed after the same chemical compounds that are in plants. It used to be that they were almost exact, like aspirin comes from white willow bark, right? And I make my own willow bark tincture, and body absorbs it better. But aspirin's probably one of the better pain relievers, right? It's not as damaging to your internal organs as Advil and naproxen and the others, right? Okay, so we are just going to mix these up. And I have them in pretty good ratios. I did them in ratios before, so, but the recipe there is pretty close, and play with it a little bit too. You may say, oh, I can't tolerate this, and you want to put more licorice root, because licorice just makes everything taste better, right? Or maybe you don't like the licorice root, and you like, so, you kind of play with it for your own palate. But that's why we have the plant properties, so you can read up on them too. And, when you make your own, you may want to separate them for different conditions that somebody might have when they're ill. Okay?
So when you say hot water, does that mean don't boil it?
Yeah, it's boiled. Boiled, yes. But like generally, a leafy material, you don't want to boil it because it will kill, the delicate chemical. But the root, the denser it is, the more you need to cook it down to pull the good medicine out of it. Yeah, so like normally at my house, I would boil those roots down for about 10-15 minutes, and then I would take it off the stove, and then I would add the leafy ones and cover it, and then let it seep for a while, like another 10-15 minutes, and then you could get your tea. But you can, if you do get sick and you want to use this to, get the infection out of your lungs and a cough and everything, then you can keep it in the pot and then just warm it again. In 3 or 4 hours, warm it up again, but don't boil it again, and don't put it in the microwave. And another thing that's really important is metal. Don't ever use aluminum. If you're going to use a metal pot, make sure it's stainless steel. No copper, no aluminum, because it reacts, right? And aluminum's been linked to Alzheimer's and all kinds of bad things because we don't have a big use for aluminum in our body. So aluminum cans, aluminum pots, I don't recommend them ever. I like glass. Glass, if you can find tempered glass, that's when I'm in the Goodwill, that's what I'm always looking for. I'm looking for those Pyrex, those nice Pyrex, or stainless steel is okay too. Or enamel's really good too. Those enamel pots that are coated, really good too. Then you don't get that interaction with the metals, because you can get heavy metals in your medicine. You don't want that. Okay, so who wants to mix? You guys want to mix? Okay, let's do it. This is ginger root, yeah. And I usually use fresh ginger root. And that's what we used in the elderberry syrup, is fresh ginger root. But there you go.
Where did you get these herbs?
Okay, there's a couple of herb stores that I like. The first one is Dandelion Herbs in Ballard. And I've been buying from them for like a really long time. They used to be over in Fremont for about 20 years. I've been going there. And the woman that owns it is very knowledgeable. She has great staff. I like them. And they're over on Ballard Avenue, just south of Market, a couple of doors. And they have just about anything you need, they have. And they make their own line as well. So, and they're decent price, they're fairly priced. They're not inexpensive, but they're not overly expensive.
Are we happy?
That one, half and half, yeah.
Also, what's really nice about dandelion, because I've gotten things from them before, is that you can call them ahead of time.
Yes, and order it.
And order it. And
Yeah.
they make it up for you and have it all ready, whatever way that you need it. So we even use two different types, like I was getting red clover, probiotic
Yeah,
types of
yeah,
things that
they're
were put
great.
together for you. They're really good. But there's also ginseng momo.
For the what?
Ginseng momo, you know that anyone? They used to be at the market.
You're not there?
You're not there? Ginseng momo I used to be. Well, she did. You know,
Ginseng Momo, they closed?
They should be there.
they're still open.
Oh, okay.
That's another herbal tea.
Oh, down at Pike Place. Yes, yeah. And then the other one is the herbalist. Yeah. The other one is the herbalist over on Northeast 65th, past Third Place Books down there, like Ravenna. And they don't have quite as much stuff. They're a little fancier, but their line is good. But I like them because they have a, what do you call it? Incentive plan. Where if you buy $200, you get like $15 off or something. Very nice. Very nice.
What about rainbow?
I was going to say that, yeah.
I don't know.
That's on 15.
It's on 15th near Group Health. And they have really good rainbow, no, that's gone, the Rainbow Remedies.
Yeah.
And they also have a naturopath on duty every day, 1 to 6.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. And then there's another one in Capitol Hill, right across from Century Ballroom on Pine, between Broadway and, yeah.
Oh, wow, we have a lot of them.
Sugar Pill. That's a good one. The lady's very knowledgeable there too.
Real careful.
It's smaller. She's much smaller, but
You said you compared it to Echinacea, but I always thought it was compared to the golden seal.
Yeah, golden seal, I'm sorry. Yeah, similar properties.
The golden seal is more antibiotic.
Yeah, same thing though. Golden seal is a lot of times when we in the developed countries, right, where we have markets and stuff, I hate that word, that's why I say that. But you know what I mean, the countries where we have markets and we have all these herb stores we can go to and stuff, it's like when we get a trend or a new finding that somebody's found, it has huge impact around the world in places where these plants are grown. And golden seal is a prime example of that. What happens is it starts because they want to produce a lot of it because it's expensive, and then it displaces some of the other plants, and the local people can't even get it because they can't afford it. So that's why we try to use a lot of plants that we have right here. I think we need another bowl because we have the yep, we have the roots coming up too. Let me see if I can find another bowl. Okay, and then we've got to find our bags and labels.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of look at it and see.
These are nice bowls, I know, huh? There's a bag of labels and bags, and I'm not. It's a little brown. Did you see that little brown bag? All right. So then, when we get it all mixed up, we can get their bag and a label. And the label wants to Northwest Herbal Tea.
Do we just need one bag?
Yes, we just need one bag.
So just Northwest Herbal Tea.
Do you want me to do one set of name tags?
Yeah, because everybody will need one, so. Yeah. Northwest Herbal Tea. And then if you want to write the ingredients on there for your household, you should do that. Okay. I mean, because you'll have this that has the ingredients, but if you have a lot of people coming in and out of your house, you don't want like a kid or a pregnant mom or something to grab this. Yeah. Because a lot of these herbs, the reason it's for nursing and pregnant moms, because it thins the blood. A lot of these will thin your blood, and so it's like some women can do small amounts, but you really need to do it under a doctor's or a naturopath. Yes. Yeah, or if somebody's on like blood thinning drugs because they have a heart condition, like Coumadin or one of those, a lot of herbs will work in the same way as the Coumadin. And yeah, I know. I wish there was more doctors who were both naturopathic and medical, so that when you get a life-threatening disease like that, you can use herbal remedies, because I know you can. A lot of these, because I know a lot of the herbs have a really strong blood thinning properties, and so you wouldn't have to take Coumadin. It's horrible stuff. It's like rat poison. But you know what? Some people they get blood clots and they need it, or they will have a heart attack, or yeah. So yes.
I took myself off of medication for chronic psoriasis a couple years ago.
For what?
Chronic psoriasis.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering if you know how to make a salve.
I can't hear you because of that. She wants to know if you can make a sound.
I was wondering if you know of a salve
For psoriasis, I've been trying to, because I get these breakouts, and I don't know exactly what they're from. I keep a journal, and I can't really tie it to anything. The one I'm on it now is it might be mold, because I can't figure out what it is. I've tried different things, and then I was in Idaho for 2 weeks, and it didn't go away, so there's no mold there. It's so dry. But I don't know. So I've tried Devil's Club salves, which is, yes, love the Devil's Club. So good.
that's going to look up.
Good. Chat, Bridget?
Yeah, evening primrose oil,
The capsules, and I think it's when it grows like a weed out here.
Which one?
It's the little yellow one, grows in the stalk, the opposite blooms, like hollyhocks, but it's an evening primrose so that it kind of unfurls and then in the evening goes, and it's got a floral peppery scent, yellow, and if you stick your nose in that, and it kind of alleviates some of that stress that can leave with your skin. It usually is an indicator of something else that's going on in your body, your integumentary system, a reflection of your liver, or for women, our stress and too much estrogen. As we get older, that can get big, as I well know.
it's compounded with not only the psoriasis, but diabetes 2 and low thyroid, which that's under control now. But the reason why I took myself off, just to share this information, if you do come down with psoriasis or any of your babies, grandbabies, great-grandbabies come down with this, really consider finding a natural thing like I'm trying to do now, because the medication I was on, anything with, I can't even pronounce that name like she mentioned earlier, that it attacked my muscles. So I have muscle soreness now throughout my body. The cholesterol medication, anything that ends with statin, I would stay away from them, from my opinion, because I was put on all of them, and that attacked my immune system. Another one that really I would suggest, only because I want you to hear and listen if someone says it, Enbrel. They put me on that, shots that are really truly for rheumatoid, which is fine because I have that also, but they put me on shots for the psoriasis, and that attacked my muscles and immune system. So that's really why I'm here today. I'm going to try and continue to go to any such gatherings, because all of those chemicals are killing us more than making us well. So thank you for listening.
Can I just add to that? My doctor wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine. And I said, no, I'm not taking another pill. Yeah, I take high blood pressure pill, that's enough. So I said, I'll go to Rainbow Remedies and I'll find an alternative. And she said, well, you have to take it yet. I said, I don't have to do anything. So I went to Rainbow Remedies and they gave me red yeast rice. And she said it would work in 3 weeks. And I don't know how fast it works because I didn't go back to 6 weeks. But it works. And now my doctor's recommending it to everyone.
What is it called?
Red yeast rice. And the brand name is Thorn, Thorn.
For the cholesterol?
Cholesterol, right. Work like a charm.
Is it a herb? And I think nettles is good for psoriasis.
Can I think about that conversation? I'm a breast cancer survivor, so I had quite a few rounds of chemotherapy, and then I was on tamoxifen following that. And my mother came to live with me 2 years ago, and she was on 24 medications. And so to detox, I was using different teas, nettle teas, dandelion, and anything that I could find. And so I was investigating online for different remedies, and I've detoxed with all natural products. But the red rice is really important. Turmeric, ginger, and MSM. And MSM, you can buy it in the store in capsule form if you can't take it in the full content. I get it from the feed store, it's for horses, and I mix it in water and chase it with a glass of orange juice. That's good for rebuilding your joints. The turmeric's really good for the muscles and the joints. I couldn't walk upstairs. I couldn't walk a half a block. And I can now walk 1 mile to 5 miles. I did a 5K with my kids in Puyallup, and I couldn't believe I made it. I was hurting afterwards, but I've gotten a lot stronger. I was in a car accident a week ago, and Tiger Balm on your muscles that goes in deep. But the turmeric and the ginger, and you can find those in a combination. Don't get anything in a tablet form. It's compound. You want anything that's in a liquid or a gel form or a powder form. But one more thing, my mom is off of 17 of those medications. She takes a pain pill just for her back, so she's on all natural. And beet juice, if you use beets with celery for high blood pressure, brings it right down. Roots, eat your roots, eat your traditional foods, your nuts. It's put in your system of either feeding or fighting disease. So it's really about what you eat, not just our herbal friends and our plant friends, but we're not doctors, but if you listen to the plants, that's our first teaching, as Roger said, you spend time with the plant. It'll help you by listening to that plant, whether there's some synergy there or not. Nettles is great. From this area, frogweed, also known as plantain, is a traditional cure-all. And so I encourage you to look at nettles and frogweed. And that it's an inflammation type thing. And milk thistle and dandelion also is a blood cleaner for that are traditional medicines from this area. But good advice.
I was going to say that, I don't know any county people who talk about blood pressure, but I know that I was taking lisinopril for blood pressure, and I lost my sense of smell about 7 years ago. So I started to open up what other things are possible. And there is a tea it's Health King brand. It's a Chinese tea that is a blood pressure tea that brought my blood pressure to normal, and I haven't had a blood pressure problem since. I'm not a doctor, but I lost my sense of smell. I'll never get it back. And I didn't know till later, in looking it up, that it's a common side effect of lisinopril is you'll lose your sense of smell. So, but that's one solution is Health King blood pressure tea, not other brands, that particular brand. And I've been learning, because I go to a Chinese medicine doctor, she knows a lot of the different names for our herbs and their herbs and what they are. She can cross-reference them. So also that's another place for people to go for their health problems, is to go to an actual Chinese medicine doctor, and not to insult John Bastyr, they're a fine college, but I would rather go to a Chinese medicine doctor who grew up in China and understands Chinese medicine as an actual practitioner growing up there. So, but that's the problem. Yeah, I know.
That's what this is about, though. Everybody sharing from your own, right?
Yeah, I wanted to address the cancer issue. I work at the State Degree of Oncology Care Center in Puyallup. I've studied with our elders for a long time. And just wanted to share with you, we do have, as traditional people here in the Northwest, and those are really the only plants that I am familiar with, an answer for almost everything. And we have on staff 2 naturopath oncologists that have studied our plants as well. And one of the things that we have that people outside of our culture use a lot, and that is vitamin C. There's no new research out there that says that vitamin C mimics sugar. Cancer loves sugar. So if you're even close to, knowing that you may have cancer, and if you eat a lot of sugar, it just eats it up. And so